chosen one. You did not find this message by chance. You were guided here by divine appointment, drawn by a pull that has followed you your entire life. Something within you has always known there was more than what you were told, more than what you were allowed to see. And now heaven has aligned this moment for a reason. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a revelation about who you truly are. The sensitivities you carried since childhood, the patterns that repeated the way you felt, things others could not explain. None of it was random. Those were markers. Those were signs placed within you long before you had words for them. You were never too emotional, too aware, or too different. You were set apart, anointed. One scripture says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. That setting apart did not begin later in life. It began at your origin. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, as written in Psalm 139, verse 14, and your life has carried evidence of that truth ever since. This is a sacred moment. A spiritual door is opening. What you are about to hear is not just information, it is recognition. Let your spirit lean in. Let your heart prepare. Transformation is not coming someday. It begins now. Chosen one. The moment your eyes touched these words, something ancient inside you stirred, something that has been waiting for years, maybe even your entire life, to finally rise to the surface. You may not fully understand it yet, but this exact second is not ordinary. The air feels different because heaven is pressing close, and your spirit recognizes what your mind has not yet processed. You are standing in a spiritual doorway, a place where the unseen brushes against the natural, and your soul can feel the weight of it. This moment is happening because heaven has decided you are ready to hear what has been held back for far too long. Your Father, your real Father, the one whose love did not end when his earthly life did, has been waiting for permission to speak to you like this. He's been closer than breath, closer than memory, closer than any distance you thought separated the living from the departed. He's been watching over you, longing for a moment where heaven could part the veil just enough for you to hear him clearly. He says to you, chosen one, that he never left you, not for a single moment. You may remember nights where you cried in silence, believing no one saw you. You may remember days when you were exhausted down to your spirit, trying to stay strong for everyone else while you felt yourself falling apart on the inside. You may remember betrayals that shook you, losses that cut deeper than words, and moments where you nearly gave up on yourself. He saw it all, and while you thought you were alone, he was pleading for you in the courts of heaven. Every moment you felt abandoned, he was standing before the Most High on your behalf, asking for protection, asking for mercy, asking for strength to surround you in ways you couldn't yet understand. Chosen one. I know what it feels like to walk through seasons where your prayers seem to fall into silence. I've lived through nights where it felt like heaven had turned its face away, where nothing in the natural made sense, and all you had left was the ache in your chest. But those are often the exact moments heaven is working the most. Sometimes silence is not absence. Sometimes silence is the shield you didn't know you needed. Your Father wants you to know that even when you felt numb, even when your prayers felt hollow, even when your faith felt like a flicker instead of a flame, he was whispering your name into God's ear. Your tears did not disappear into your pillow. They were gathered, treasured, carried. They became evidence. They became intercession. They became reasons for heaven to move. Now heaven is revealing something deeper to you, something tied not just to your pain, but to your identity. This moment is not simply a message, it is a spiritual assignment. There are things you must understand because of who you are and because of what heaven has placed on your life. You have always been sensitive in ways others didn't understand. You have always felt things before they happened, sensed shifts in people, and noticed atmospheres change without anyone explaining why. You may have been told you were overthinking, too emotional, too intuitive, too guarded, too open, too different. But chosen one, those sensitivities were not flaws. They were signs, markers, evidence of the calling placed inside you before you ever took your first breath. And now, because of that calling, heaven is warning you. Your father has been trying to get your attention through small signs, the sudden heaviness you feel around certain people, the way your spirit drops right after talking to someone, the strange uneasiness that comes even when nothing appears wrong, the intuition that whispers, "Be careful." Those aren't random feelings, they are spiritual alarms. Your father has seen someone near you whose heart carries envy, someone whose smile doesn't match their intentions. You've felt it, the draining conversations, the shift in the air, the way joy feels smaller around them. You didn't want to believe it because you have a heart that hopes, a heart that gives second chances, a heart that chooses to see the good, even in people who haven't earned that grace. I understand that. Many chosen ones do. But this time, heaven needs you to trust what you feel, not what you see. Your father is urging you to listen because there is a plan forming in the shadows, something subtle, something quiet, something masked behind friendliness. Heaven is not revealing this to frighten you, but to prepare you. God is training your discernment, sharpening your spiritual hearing, strengthening your intuition so that you can walk with wisdom instead of wounds. You have survived too much, grown through too much, healed from too much for the enemy to tear you down through someone who should have never earned your trust in the first place. You were set apart as written in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, long before the world gave you a name. And because you are set apart, heaven is protecting you before the danger matures. Chosen one. Your father wants you to know that you are stronger than you realize. The storms that tried to break you only revealed what was inside you all along. You carry a strength your father once wished he had. And he wants you to walk forward now, not in fear, not in suspicion, but in holy awareness. He wants you to understand that what you feel is real, what you sense is accurate, and what you discern is heaven speaking through you. And most of all, he wants you to know that you've never been and will never be alone. Chosen one. As you continue to lean into this moment, I need you to understand something. Life-altering heaven is not simply watching over you. Heaven is actively intervening for you. There are movements occurring in the unseen that your spirit has been picking up on for weeks, even months, but you couldn't quite put language to it. That restlessness in your chest, the sudden waves of emotion that felt unprovoked, the heaviness that came out of nowhere, the feeling that something was shifting around you even when nothing had changed in the natural, none of that was random. Those were spiritual tremors. Those were heavenly signals. Those were subtle pushes, gentle alerts, divine nudges preparing you for what is happening right now, and your father has been a part of every one of those movements. Chosen one, he wants you to know that he has seen the attacks forming long before you felt them. He has watched the conversations you weren't present for, the thoughts you couldn't hear, the intentions hidden behind familiar faces. He says there is someone whose heart has been slowly bending away from you, someone who once admired you, but now carries a quiet bitterness every time you rise, every time you heal, Every time you walk into a blessing they believe should have been theirs. And the reason you've felt drained after interacting with them is because your spirit has been trying to warn you even when your heart wanted to excuse it. I know how difficult that can be. Many chosen ones carry the habit of giving too much grace, assuming misunderstandings, where there is actually manipulation, hoping for sincerity, where there is only envy, and choosing patience where discernment is required. I've lived through seasons where I wanted to believe someone's intentions were pure, even as my spirit kept tugging at me, whispering that something didn't add up. You may have felt that same tug. Heaven is confirming it now. Your Father says this woman watches your blessings more than your face. She pays attention to your progress, not because she celebrates it, but because it makes her uneasy. You've noticed how she asks certain questions, how she lingers on certain details, how her tone shifts ever so slightly when you talk about something good happening in your life. These small things you tried to ignore. Heaven is saying, do not ignore them anymore. These signs are not coincidences. They are flags. They are signals. They are God teaching you to hear Him faster, to identify spiritual interference before it matures into spiritual damage. Your Father has been fighting to keep you ahead of this danger, and now He is finally allowed to speak plainly. Chosen one, you must understand something vital. This is not about instilling fear. This is about awakening your authority. Heaven is not telling you to shrink back, but to rise up with wisdom. There is a difference between suspicion and discernment, and heaven is teaching you the difference. What you have felt in your spirit, the dropping energy, the uncomfortable silence, the instinct to pull back, has been discernment. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic. You are spiritually sensitive because you were born with a calling that requires it. And because of that calling, certain people cannot go where you are going. Certain relationships cannot cross the next threshold of your destiny. Certain environments cannot stay attached to you as God positions you for your next season. Your Father has seen the chapter ahead, the new opportunities forming, the breakthroughs lining up with your name on them, and He knows that if you continue giving access to the wrong person, they will try to twist your blessings into burdens. But heaven will not allow that. Your Father says that you are entering a season where protection will feel stronger, clearer, and more noticeable than ever before. You may begin to hear things differently. You may feel sudden urges to distance yourself from certain people. You may find your spirit growing quieter in certain conversations. You may feel a pulling away from places that once felt comfortable. This is not isolation. This is insulation. Heaven is insulating your spirit so that what is coming to you cannot be contaminated by what was surrounding you. Your discernment is being sharpened because your destiny is being activated. Chosen one, I know what it feels like to outgrow environments that once felt safe, to realize that not everyone who claps for you truly wants to see you rise. I have walked through relationships where the loyalty I gave was not the loyalty I received. But every time heaven pulled me away from someone, even when it hurt, it was always because God was protecting something in me that I didn't yet understand. You are experiencing the same thing. Your Father is guiding you with the same urgency. He has seen the enemy trying to plant seeds, small seeds of doubt, small seeds of confusion, small seeds designed to grow into obstacles. But heaven is uprooting those seeds before they take root. You are stepping into a new spiritual clarity. You are beginning to see what your spirit has sensed all along. You are beginning to trust the inner alarms God placed inside you from childhood. And your Father is telling you that everything you have survived has prepared you for this moment. You are not fragile, you are not unprotected, you are not alone. In fact, you are more surrounded than you have ever been. The veil between realms is thinner for you right now because heaven is making sure you receive every warning, every truth, every piece of guidance you need. Chosen. 1. Heaven is not late. Heaven is right on time. Chosen one. As this revelation deepens, heaven is drawing your attention to something even more personal, something tender but necessary for where you're going next. Your Father wants you to understand that the warnings you are receiving are not merely about danger, they are about destiny. The enemy is not attacking you because you are weak, but because you are approaching a season that carries weight in the spiritual realm. This is why you feel pressure increasing. This is why certain relationships feel tense or unsettled. This is why your emotions have been shifting unexpectedly. And this is why heaven is speaking so loudly now. When great blessing approaches, spiritual resistance always rises, not because the enemy is strong, but because he is desperate. Your Father has seen what is forming ahead of you, and he knows that if the wrong person remains close to you during this transition, they will misinterpret your blessing, misrepresent your heart, and interrupt the momentum heaven has already prepared for you. Chosen one. I've lived through moments where the breakthroughs I waited for began forming just beneath the surface. And before I ever saw them, I felt the shaking around me. Misunderstandings increased. People who were once warm suddenly grew distant. I felt tired without explanation. I felt pulled to detach from places I once found comfort in. These were not emotional storms, they were spiritual contractions. They were signs that something new was forming, something heaven had orchestrated long before I could comprehend it. You may be feeling that same contraction now. You may be noticing old patterns, closing old wounds, rising to the surface, old connections fading, and old versions of yourself shedding. This is heaven preparing you for rebirth. Your Father says that the light on your life has been increasing, and with increased light comes increased visibility. People can sense it, even if they cannot explain it. They feel something radiating from you, something rare, something set apart, something heaven touched. Some will be drawn to it, others will envy it, and a few may try to distort it. You must understand that spiritual sensitivity is not a weakness. It is an inheritance. The way you pick up energy, the way you notice shifts in people's tone, the way your spirit reacts before your mind understands, the way your heart tightens when someone carries the wrong intention. These are not flaws. These are gifts. Gifts your Father watched develop in you as you grew. Gifts heaven trusted you with. Gifts that were meant to protect you long before you even knew what they were. Heaven says there is a reason your spirit has always been more alert than those around you. There is a reason you never fully fit in, even in spaces where you were accepted. There is a reason you have always carried a quiet depth, a hidden sensitivity, and an instinct that didn't match your surroundings. Your identity has always been spiritual, not just emotional. Your Father says you were born with a calling wrapped inside your soul, and that calling has been shaping your entire life. It shaped the friendships that ended suddenly. It shaped the environments you outgrew. It shaped the heartbreaks you didn't deserve. It shaped the battles that tested you more than others. And it shaped the strength that now defines you. Nothing about you has been accidental. You were set apart, just as stated in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, long before you understood the weight of being chosen. Chosen one. Your Father is urging you to understand that blessings and burdens travel the same road. Before the blessing arrives, the burden tries to delay you. Before favor is revealed, warfare tries to distract you. Before destiny opens, deception attempts to enter. And that is why heaven is highlighting this woman around you. She senses the shift on your life, even if she doesn't understand where it comes from. Envy is born from proximity. Only those close enough to witness your growth can resent it. This is why heaven is drawing a line now. This is why your spirit has been restless. This is why you've been feeling a pull to separate from certain conversations, to keep your plans hidden, to move in silence. Your Father is teaching you to listen to what your spirit already knows. He says you will soon notice patterns around this person intensifying. She may suddenly become overly kind, overly attentive, overly curious. This is not sincerity, it is strategy. She is gathering information because she feels something shifting in your life, something she cannot touch but desperately wants to control. Heaven is telling you to guard your words, guard your dreams, guard your heart, not out of fear but out of wisdom, not because she has power but because your destiny does. When God is preparing to elevate someone, He often reveals the true intentions of those around them. Clarity is not always comfortable, but it is always a gift. Chosen one. Your Father wants you to know that every ounce of intuition you've been feeling is accurate. Every uneasy moment, every sudden emotional shift, every whisper in your spirit has been heaven trying to prepare you. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining clarity. And this clarity is necessary because what is coming to you requires a different level of awareness, a different level of strength, a different level of discernment. Your future is too important, too blessed, too anointed to be influenced by someone who does not truly celebrate you. Your Father says He will continue guiding you. You will feel Him in small ways, a rush of warmth, a sudden memory, a stillness that feels familiar. He is not gone. He is present in ways far deeper than you've known, and He will not stop watching over you until you step fully into the chapter heaven has written for you. Chosen one. As heaven continues unveiling the truth surrounding your path, your Father wants you to understand that none of this is happening to burden you. It is happening to prepare you. The shifts you feel, the spiritual alerts that rise without warning, the sudden heaviness that settles on your spirit. When certain people enter the room, these are not coincidences. They are confirmations. You are stepping into a season where your spiritual senses are being sharpened because your destiny is beginning to call you louder than ever before. When a calling awakens, discernment intensifies. And when discernment intensifies, anything that does not align with your assignment begins to reveal its true nature. This is why faces that once felt warm now feel uncertain. This is why conversations that once flowed easily now drain you. And this is why your heart is craving distance from people who once felt familiar. Your spirit is shifting because heaven is aligning you. Your Father says that you must trust this alignment even when it feels uncomfortable. He knows you have a heart that wants to give others the benefit of the doubt. You are someone who forgives quickly, loves deeply, and extends grace in places where others would have withdrawn. That compassionate nature is part of what makes you chosen. But it is also why heaven must sometimes intervene to show you what your heart is too pure to recognize. Your Father has seen how easily your kindness can be misinterpreted as permission. He's watched moments where you continued opening your heart to people whose intentions had shifted long before you realized it. And while He admires your goodness, He also wants you to understand that wisdom must accompany compassion. Discernment must walk beside love. Awareness must partner with grace. Heaven is not asking you to become hard-hearted. It is asking you to become spiritually aware. The woman your father has been warning you about cannot enter the next chapter of your life, because the blessing you are stepping into requires clean hands and pure intentions around you. When God releases a new level of favor, He often removes people who cannot handle the weight of your elevation. Some people are not against your joy. They are simply uncomfortable with their own lack of progress. Your light exposes their shadows, and instead of healing, they choose comparison. Your father has seen how she studies you, how she collects your words, how she notices every breakthrough with a quiet tension in her spirit. He says her envy is not loud, but it is deep. And envy, even when silent, becomes dangerous when given access. Chosen one, you may have overlooked the signs because your heart prefers to see the best in people. You may have felt the tightness in your chest after conversations with her, but dismissed it as stress. You may have noticed how your energy dropped after spending time together, but tried to rationalize it. You may have caught the subtle shift in her tone when you shared good news, but convinced yourself you were imagining things. Your father is telling you that you were not imagining anything. That sense of unease was your spirit sounding the alarm. Heaven placed that alarm inside you because you were born with spiritual sensitivity, the kind that is meant to protect your assignment. Your father wants you to honor what you feel, not explain it away. He says this woman will soon attempt to step closer, not out of love, but out of calculation. She senses the shift happening in your life, even without understanding it. She feels doors opening for you, opportunities forming around you, and blessings aligning themselves with your name. And because she has not dealt with the insecurities in her own heart, she may attempt to plant subtle seeds, small doubts, small twists of truth, small shifts in perception that can grow into significant misunderstandings. This is why heaven is warning you now, not to create fear, but to build awareness, not to push you away from people, but to guide you toward discernment. Your father is reminding you that protection is not always a miracle. Sometimes protection is a warning, and this warning is a sign of how deeply you are loved by heaven. The spiritual realm knows what is coming for you, your breakthrough, your restoration, your elevation, and your father refuses to allow anyone to interfere with it. He has seen the future chapters of your life, and he knows the peace that is waiting for you. He knows the opportunities that will soon surround you. He knows the joy that will finally settle into places where sorrow once lived. He knows how long you have waited, how much you have endured, and how many nights you spent holding yourself together when everything around you was falling apart. Chosen one, your father wants you to understand the magnitude of what you are stepping into. This warning is not the end of something, it is the beginning of something extraordinary. You are being shifted, positioned, and protected for a reason that will soon become clear. Heaven is guarding you because heaven is preparing to bless you. Chosen one, your father is urging you to pay close attention now because what is unfolding in your life is not just a season of warning, it is a season of positioning. Heaven is aligning circumstances, conversations, and even your emotions in ways that may feel unfamiliar, yet profoundly intentional. You may have noticed recently that your tolerance for certain energies has decreased. Things you once ignored now feel heavy. People you once entertained now feel misaligned. Environments that once felt comfortable now feel spiritually cramped. This is not emotional instability. This is spiritual refinement. Your spirit is outgrowing what your past once required because your destiny is beginning to call you into places where old patterns cannot follow. Your Father wants you to understand that these shifts are not accidental. They are responses to the elevation happening inside you. When heaven prepares you for increase, it often begins by removing what cannot sustain the weight of that increase. This is why relationships have shifted unexpectedly. This is why your inner circle feels smaller. This is why silence feels safer than certain conversations. Your Father says that heaven is narrowing your path, not to isolate you, but to protect you from what would have become a distraction. He says you must trust this narrowing. Trust the quiet. Trust the distance forming between you and those who once held space in your life. This distance is divine. Chosen one. I know how unsettling it can feel when God begins to close doors you didn't ask Him to close. I've walked through seasons where I questioned why people drifted away, why connections faded, and why conversations began to feel awkward. Only later did I understand that heaven was creating space for something better, something holier, something more aligned with the version of myself I had not yet stepped into. You may be in that same transition. You are becoming someone more spiritually mature, more spiritually aware, more spiritually powerful, and with transformation comes separation. Your Father says, not everyone who walked with you in your past can witness your future. And now heaven wants you to grasp something crucial. The enemy's interest in you has increased only because heaven's plans for you have expanded. The enemy does not fight the ordinary. He fights the anointed. He fights those marked by heaven. He fights those who carry generational assignments, spiritual sensitivity, and divine calling. Your Father says the enemy targeted you not because of weakness, but because of potential. Potential that has been with you since childhood. Potential that others sensed, even when you didn't. Potential that intimidated people who did not understand your quiet power. This is why certain individuals around you began to shift. Some sensed your calling, but responded with jealousy instead of honor. Some recognized your favor but hid it behind a smile. Some admired your resilience but resented the strength they could not break. You have always carried an energy that disrupts darkness, even without trying. You walk into rooms and atmospheres shift. You speak truth and hidden motives tremble. You show kindness and it exposes those who cannot love with purity. These abilities are not coincidences. They are spiritual markers, signs that heaven has always been with you, signs that your Father always recognized even when the world didn't. Chosen one, heaven is now revealing that part of your Father's urgency comes from what lies ahead. He has seen the blessings forming blessings so specific to your purpose that they will make sense of every tear, every trial, every betrayal, every delay. He says there is a chapter in front of you where peace will no longer be something you chase, it will be something that surrounds you. Opportunities will open that feel tailor-made. Connections will form effortlessly. Resources will align without striving. You will step into days where heaviness lifts without explanation and clarity arrives as naturally as breath. You may not see it yet, but heaven sees it clearly. Your Father says that what is coming will not only restore what you lost, it will redefine what you expect from life. You have carried disappointment in your bones for so long that hope has felt dangerous. But your Father insists that hope is safe now. The season ahead is not built on uncertainty but on promise, and He wants you to walk toward it with confidence. Not the kind of confidence rooted in your strength, but the confidence rooted in spiritual backing. You are not walking alone. You are surrounded by angels He begged God to assign to you. You are covered by prayers He prayed when you were unaware. You are supported by a love that did not end with death, but grew stronger in eternity. He says you will soon begin to notice confirmation all around you, unexpected peace, sudden clarity, dreams that feel vivid, signs that feel personal, and small moments of alignment that remind you heaven is orchestrating every detail. You may feel warmth and think of him. You may hear a phrase that feels familiar. You may feel a nudge to pause, to listen, to turn away, or to step forward. These are not coincidences. These are communications. Heaven is speaking in ways designed specifically for your spirit to recognize. Chosen. 1. Your Father says you are closer to breakthrough than you realize. Chosen one. Your Father is guiding you even more closely now because what you are stepping into requires not only awareness, but readiness. Heaven does not reveal danger unless it is also preparing deliverance. And heaven does not expose an enemy unless it is also elevating the one who has been targeted. Your Father says that everything you have felt lately, the emotional fluctuations, the sudden exhaustion, the spiritual sensitivity, the urge to pull away from certain people, has been a sign that your spirit is transitioning into a higher place. You may not have language for it, but your soul has known for weeks that something was shifting. It is as if you have been standing between two worlds, the life you have known and the life you are about to walk into. This in-between place can feel confusing, even lonely. But it is one of the holiest seasons a chosen one can experience. It is where heaven stretches your discernment, strengthens your intuition, and prepares your heart for the next level of blessing. Your Father says the enemy has been pressing harder because he senses you are on the brink of a breakthrough that will reshape the direction of your life. This is not exaggeration. This is spiritual reality. You have been through seasons where the enemy tried to wear you down emotionally, mentally, even physically because he hoped you would quit before you reached this stage. But every time you were close to breaking something in, you refused to give up. Something invisible held you together. Something quiet but powerful whispered, "Keep going." That was heaven. That was your Father's intercession. That was the purpose inside you, refusing to die. Now you are at the edge of something new, something long awaited. Something your spirit has been preparing for even when your mind could not understand it. Your Father says the clarity you have been longing for is coming. The heaviness you've been carrying is lifting. The confusion you've battled is beginning to unravel. He has seen the chapters ahead, and he says they are brighter than you dare to imagine. But heaven needs you spiritually awake so that nothing and no one can pull you off course. This is why the warning has come. This is why your discernment has been stirred. This is why your heart has felt unsettled around certain people, because your next season requires a stronger version of you, one who trusts intuition, honors boundaries, and recognizes spiritual signals without second-guessing them. Your Father says that this next chapter will demand silence in some places where you once spoke freely. Not because you are fearful, but because your spirit is becoming strategic. There are things forming in your life that must be protected until they are fully grown. Every breakthrough has a vulnerable stage, and heaven is helping you guard yours. This is why certain conversations have felt wrong. This is why you have been hesitant to share your dreams with people who once felt safe. This is why your spirit has been nudging you to move quietly. Some blessings are meant to incubate away from human interference. Your Father says that wisdom is not secrecy, it is stewardship. He also says that you will soon feel a shift in your emotional landscape. Where anxiety once lingered, peace will begin to take root. Where fear tried to grow, clarity will settle. Where heaviness weighed you down, strength will rise unexpectedly. This transformation will not be dramatic but steady, like light slowly filling a dark room. You will realize one morning that something feels lighter, that your mind feels clearer, that the weight you carried unconsciously has been lifted. This is heaven realigning you. This is restoration entering your spirit. This is confirmation that your Father's prayers for you are being answered in real time. Chosen one. Your Father wants you to know that the battles you faced were not signs of failure. They were signs of calling. Every spiritual attack you endured was a sign that heaven placed something inside you worth fighting for. You have survived heartbreaks that would have hardened other people. You have overcome battles that would have broken them. You have risen from losses that would have silenced them. And yet, here you are, still spiritually sensitive, still open-hearted, still able to feel, still able to discern, still able to believe. This is proof of who you are. This is evidence that heaven has marked you. Now your Father says something deeply important. You are entering a season where you will no longer apologize for your intuition. You will trust it. You will honor it. You will act on it. Your spirit is wiser than you realize. Every time you felt something was off, every time a person drained your energy, every time your soul felt uneasy, it was heaven guiding you. You must no longer dismiss these signals. You must no longer override your inner warnings. They are not random, they are divine. Chosen one, you have outgrown survival. You are stepping into purpose. And your Father says He will continue walking with you until every blessing assigned to your name is placed into your hands. Chosen one. Your Father is drawing even nearer now because this next part of your journey requires not only spiritual alertness but emotional strength. You have carried so much alone, far more than most people around you realize. You've walked through seasons that demanded your silence, even when your heart was breaking. You've carried responsibilities that were never spoken out loud, yet you still bore them with grace. You've endured moments that would have shattered someone with a weaker spirit, yet somehow you kept moving. Your Father has watched all of it, not from a distance, but from a place closer than breath. He knows the weight of every tear, every disappointment, every betrayal, every unanswered question. And He wants you to know that nothing you endured was wasted. Heaven saw what people missed. Heaven heard what people ignored. Heaven recorded what people dismissed, and now heaven is responding. Your Father says that you are entering a season where what was hidden in you will begin to rise to the surface. Not your pain, your purpose. Not your wounds, your wisdom. Not your exhaustion, your anointing. For too long you have underestimated your own capacity. You have assumed that your sensitivity was a weakness, when in reality it was a gift. You have believed your discernment made you overthink, when in truth, it made you spiritually precise. You have felt like the odd one out, the one who carried too much, the one who felt too deeply, the one who noticed what others ignored, but chosen. One, these were signs of a spiritual identity that has always been uncommon. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to see deeper, feel deeper, know deeper, because your calling is deeper. Heaven says that many of the struggles you faced were not punishments, they were preparations. You were being trained, not tormented. Trained to discern energies, trained to recognize spiritual shadows, trained to feel shifts in the unseen, trained to hear the whisper beneath the noise. Your Father says you thought you were simply surviving seasons of heartbreak, loneliness, betrayal, or confusion. But in reality, heaven was sharpening your gifts. Every situation that hurt you shaped your spiritual instincts. Every person who wounded you helped refine your discernment. Every disappointment strengthened your inner compass. Heaven has been building something inside you that is about to become essential for the path ahead. Chosen one. Your Father is revealing that while you have been learning to guard your spirit from hidden enemies, Heaven has also been preparing to open doors that were shut for years. You may have felt like your life has been on pause, like you were waiting for something you couldn't name, like time itself was stretching endlessly without clear direction. But that was not delay, it was alignment. Your Father says Heaven has been arranging things behind the scenes, people, opportunities, timing, and even your emotional healing, so that when this next chapter arrives, it will not feel accidental but inevitable. And now, Heaven is asking you to prepare yourself for what is coming, because the blessings you are stepping into require a stronger version of you, stronger in wisdom, stronger in awareness, stronger in confidence. Your Father says the first step in this preparation is recognizing your worth. You have spent years giving others the benefit of the doubt while doubting yourself. You have poured into people who never poured back into you. You have stayed loyal to those who treated your loyalty casually. You have apologized for things that were never your fault, simply because you didn't want to create conflict. This season of self-sacrifice is ending. Heaven is lifting you out of environments where you were undervalued and guiding you into spaces where your spirit will be honored. Your Father wants you to know that your heart is a rare treasure. The way you love, the way you pray, the way you carry others in your spirit, even when they don't know it, these qualities are not common. They are evidence of the calling on your life. And because your heart is rare, Heaven will no longer allow it to be mishandled. This is why people have been falling away. This is why certain connections have dissolved. This is why Heaven has been removing access from those who once stood close to you. It is protection, not loss. It is preparation, not punishment. It is repositioning, not rejection. Chosen one. Your Father says you will soon notice a shift in your relationships. New people will enter your life. People whose spirits resonate with yours. People who don't drain you but uplift you. People who appreciate your heart rather than exploit it. These are kingdom connections divinely woven into your path, but you must allow Heaven to remove the counterfeits before the authentic can enter. This is why your discernment has been heightened. This is why your spirit reacts before your mind understands. Heaven is clearing space. And now your Father reminds you of something powerful. Nothing, absolutely nothing that was taken from you will compare to what is coming toward you. The blessings ahead will not be fragile. The opportunities ahead will not be temporary. The joy ahead will not be inconsistent. You are stepping into a chapter where stability will replace chaos, where clarity will replace confusion, and where peace will replace emotional exhaustion. Chosen one. Your Father says the best is not behind you. It is not delayed. It is not lost. It is approaching you now with the force of Heaven behind it. Chosen one. As your Father continues speaking through the veil with a love more fierce and protective than you have ever known, Heaven is drawing your attention to something deeper, something sacred that has been unfolding behind every season of your life. There are moments, he says, when the spiritual realm presses so close that even the atmosphere feels different. You have felt this. In recent days, perhaps even in recent hours, you've sensed a weight resting on your spirit, not a burden, but a holy gravity. A sense that something is shifting, something unseen is aligning, something long awaited is finally approaching. You may not have had the words for it, but your soul recognized it instantly. It is the nearness of destiny. And your Father wants you to understand that nothing you have endured was random. It was preparation for the season you are now stepping into. Heaven says the spiritual warfare you faced was not a sign of abandonment. but confirmation of assignment. The enemy does not waste ammunition on someone without purpose. He does not target someone without potential. He does not try to delay someone whose destiny poses no threat. You have been attacked because you are marked. You have been resisted because you are chosen. You have been opposed because the light placed inside you disrupts darkness simply by existing. Your Father has seen how you survived storms that should have broken you, heartbreaks that should have hardened you, losses that should have silenced you. Yet somehow through it all, your heart remained soft enough to feel, wise enough to discern, and strong enough to rise again. This resilience is not ordinary. It is evidence that heaven has been shaping you, refining you, strengthening you, making you into someone capable of carrying the blessings that require depth, maturity, and spiritual awareness. Your Father says He wants to shift your perspective about what you've been through. You saw pain. Heaven saw preparation. You saw delays. Heaven saw development. You saw closed doors. Heaven saw protection. You saw betrayal. Heaven saw revelation. Everything the enemy meant to destroy you became the very thing God used to prepare you. The tears you cried watered the soil of the person you are becoming. The prayers you whispered in exhaustion became seeds of breakthroughs you will soon see. The moments you felt unseen became the very moments heaven was assigning angels on your behalf. You have never walked alone, not even for a second. Your Father was watching, interceding and standing guard when you didn't have the strength to stand for yourself. And now the season of endurance is giving way to a season of emergence. Chosen one. Your Father says you are beginning to reclaim parts of yourself that were buried beneath survival. Your confidence is returning. Your voice is returning. Your clarity is returning. Your joy is slowly waking up inside you again. You may feel it in flashes, moments where your spirit feels lighter, moments where hope flickers softly, moments where you begin to imagine a life beyond pain. These are signs that heaven is healing you in places you didn't even know were fractured. You are not just recovering, you are being restored, and not restored to who you used to be, but to who you were always meant to be. The version of you that heaven sees, the version your Father always believed in, the version the enemy tried so hard to silence. Your Father says the next shift in your journey will be one of recognition. Not recognition from people, recognition from your own spirit. You are about to recognize your worth in ways you've never allowed yourself to before. You are about to recognize your calling, your strength, your intuition, your spiritual authority. For too long you've diminished your own gifts because others didn't understand them. You've silenced your intuition because people called it overthinking. You've ignored your discernment because you didn't want to seem judgmental. You've downplayed your sensitivity because the world told you it was weakness. But heaven is correcting that now. You are spiritually sensitive because you were designed to be. You see deeper because you were born to. You discern quickly because your calling requires it. Your Father says these traits are not flaws, they are fingerprints of your anointing. And now heaven is aligning opportunities that match this anointing. Doors will open that make sense for the first time. People will come into your life who speak the language of your spirit. Purpose will begin to flow instead of feeling forced. You will find yourself stepping into rooms you once felt unqualified for, only to realize heaven prepared you long before you arrived. There will be moments soon where you pause and realize this is what everything was preparing me for. The confusion will make sense. The pain will make sense. The detours will make sense. Even the betrayals will make sense. Your Father wants you to know that clarity is coming, and when it does, it will feel like a sunrise breaking after years of night. Chosen one, heaven is not asking you to strive now. Heaven is asking you to surrender, to trust the alignment, to trust the guidance, to trust the protection, to trust the love that has followed you across realms. You are stepping into a chapter where what once felt difficult will begin to unfold with ease, where what once felt impossible will begin to manifest, where what once felt lost will return in better form. Your Father is preparing you for days where joy is not fleeting but sustained, where peace is not occasional but constant. Chosen one. Te Fai Chatati. Future you prayed for is closer than your breath. You are ready. Chosen one. As this message draws to a close, let your spirit remain open to the truth heaven has poured into you today. Your Father's voice did not reach you by accident. His love, His protection, and His unwavering intercession are signs of the sacred identity you carry, an identity heaven has been unveiling piece by piece, moment by moment. You are not ordinary. You were marked, set apart, and formed with a purpose that has followed you since birth. Anointed. One, may this be the moment you step fully into that truth. May every hidden marker, every spiritual sign, every instinct placed within you rise to the surface with clarity. Heaven is guiding you. Your Father is watching over you. And the path ahead is opening because you are ready to walk it with courage. I speak over you a blessing of strength, of discernment, of divine alignment. May your steps be steady, your heart be guarded, and your spirit be bold. Walk forward knowing you are chosen, protected, and deeply loved across realms. If this message awakened something in you, let heaven see your faith. Share your spirit's response in the comments and stay connected here, where heaven will continue speaking to the chosen ones. Go now in clarity, in authority, and in peace. Your path is blessed.